welcome to Rhythms of Hope. I want to encourage you today through Psalm 91, and the verses that we're going to look at today are verses 9 through to 13. I'd love to be able to read them to you right now. If you say, "The Lord is my refuge," and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent, for He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. You know, as I was just reflecting on this verse, I was thinking about our own circumstances where each one of us can say that I have a house, but it's one thing to speak of a house. It's another thing to turn it into a home. A home speaks of a place that we visit each and every day. It's a place that we have safety and sanctuary in. It's a place where we rest. It's a place for family to gather. What turns a house into a home? And the psalmist says here that if you say the Lord is your refuge, don't just say it, but make the Most High your dwelling. It's actually allowing our confession to move from our lips into our actions to actually make God our dwelling place, that place that we return to daily, that place where we find safety, that place where we find rest. You know, off the back of this, we have some great and many promises that come from this, but the one I wanted to highlight today, and the one that's encouraged me so much, is in verse 11 where he says, He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. And they will lift you up with their hands so that you will not strike your foot on a stone. Let me ask you this. What do you think of when you think of God's protection? Like, is it some mystical force or some other element that He would try and reach out His hand and protect? The Bible speaks right throughout from Genesis to Revelation about angels. Hebrews 1:14 talks about that they are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. It's an interesting concept. We see it through movies and we see it depicted in other media forms, but to consider that God has His angels at work. Jesus spoke of this frequently through the Gospels as a normal and real part of heaven. And in this promise of Scripture, we can hold tight that it's God's will to command His angels on our behalf to guard all our ways. It's interesting when you look at the story of Moses leading the Israelites out of Egypt. Here they are being taken from captivity, of which they were held in for over 400 years, being led through the wilderness to the promised land. It's a picture of how God has saved us from the captivity of sin, leading us into salvation. But this is what God says to Moses in Exodus 23:20. He says, "See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the plan that I have prepared." While we walk through these unprecedented times, through uncharted waters, places where we've never been before, we can't rely on our own intellect, our own ability, or even the things that we've done before. We have to trust. We have to choose to rest in a God whom we've made our home in, who we've made our dwelling in, and know that His angels will guide us in all our ways. I hope that's blessed you. Be encouraged. God bless, church.